Throughout Peru, from the metropolitan city of Lima to shanty towns such as Villa El Salvador that house many of its residents, to the city of Cusco, the ancient capital of the Incan civilization, you will find him everywhere. The street dog, el perro callejero. These dogs are guardians of street corners and doorways, loiterers resting on busy sidewalks, beggars, thieves, and raiders of countless trash heaps and dumpsters. They often travel in packs, playing together, fighting with one another, or exploring amorous pursuits. Some are cared for, fed, and loved by individual people or small communities. Others are left to fend solely for themselves. But all of them live, and many die, on the street. Street dogs come from a long lineage of canines bred as domesticated, working, or companion animals. Why do so many of them now live on the street in conditions that are difficult and sometimes impossible to bear? One veterinarian in Cusco says that street dogs become what they are because they run away from home and grow wild and aggressive. They cannot be treated for disease or given aid because it would endanger their would-be human helpers. Others stress that possible aggression notwithstanding, there simply are no government-sponsored animal welfare organizations to give aid and stem the growth of the stray dog population via adoption. Spaying and neutering are expensive and unpopular options in Peru, and this greatly contributes to the street dog population. And Amazon Cares, one of the few volunteer animal rescue organizations in Peru, states that many adult dogs and puppies are abandoned by their human caregivers. Those who do not immediately starve become street dogs. Because of their long history of breeding and domestication, the lives of street dogs are intrinsically intertwined with humans, and the relationships that exist between a street dog and the humans around him in large part define his life. The primary relationship, and the relationship that most frequently dictates whether a dog will live or die, is food. A street dog may eat because he has formed friendships with residents in the neighborhoods he frequents, or because he boldly solicits people snacking in the park, or because he visits the city's trash dump site. However he comes by his food, he is dependent upon humans for its source. Proper nutrition may be difficult to come by, making hunger a constant threat for many dogs. Take pity on a dog who has been following you by giving him a bit of street food, and you will likely find that he is ravenously hungry. Another threat comes in the form of the food that is left on the ground for street dogs to find, such as poisoned bocados. These mouthfuls of meat or other foods are intentionally tainted with rat poison and cause a violent and painful death. Street dog poisonings are common in Lima, perhaps because some see the dogs as a nuisance, and perhaps because some simply find it enjoyable to kill the animals. A secondary relationship, which is in part influenced by the availability of food, is the social relationship between humans and street dogs. Because street dogs are complex animals that experience a rich emotional life, social interactions with humans have a large impact on a street dog's behavior and ability to thrive. This social relationship is characterized by varying degrees of affection or rejection. Walk out onto the street on any evening in urban Peru, and you are likely to find a street dog soon tagging along beside you. Play with him a bit, and he will be delighted to follow you anywhere you go. Contradicting claims of canine aggression, many dogs are friendly and seeking of human affection. And many dogs see this affection returned, be it by a slight tap on the head from a passerby, a scrap of leftover food, or a relationship so deep that the human thinks of the dog as his own, although it resides on the street. These relationships improve and even prolong the lives of many dogs. Unfortunately, there are also many dogs who experience a great deal of rejection from humans, and this rejection causes pain, suffering, and at times, death. There are dogs who have been purposefully injured by humans through such methods as tying bands around limbs to cut off blood circulation. Some dogs have had experiences that make them so fearful as to run at the sight of humans. However, most rejection simply comes in the form of ignoring the presence of the street dog. Because of the sheer numbers of street dogs, too often they become a backdrop of the city that is neither acknowledged nor aided. This lack of attention makes the lives of street dogs both challenging and lonely. So why are street dogs important? Many of the people in Peru struggle on a daily basis with government corruption, extreme poverty and unemployment, extractive industry, and the memory of a recent and devastating war. With so much human strife, why should the plight of street dogs matter? The answer lies not in the differences between human and animal, such as an animal lacking a voice with which to defend itself. The answer lies in the commonalities between the people of Peru and the dogs that populate its alleys and avenues. The most important of these is the capacity for suffering. While humans within Peru suffer the pain of poverty, lack of proper medical care, and living conditions in shantytowns, street dogs suffer with starvation, disease, and untreated injuries. While the people of Peru struggle with a lack of full reproductive freedom, the street dog population suffers by being uncontrolled via campaigns for spaying and neutering. Just as people struggle to have their human rights recognized in Peru, street dogs are in desperate need of animal rights policies to protect them from abuse by vindictive people. And while there is no welfare state in Peru, there is also a lack of humane shelters to care for dogs. The street dog of Peru exists today because of human influence. These dogs were bred and domesticated to live and work beside us and to serve as our companions. Their suffering is similar to the suffering of humans. For these reasons, the street dog deserves our care and protection. He deserves it and desperately needs it.